Take a little walk down into the underbelly of streaming, where hope is cheap, but it's all we have. We ain't got the fancy things that the big streamers got. We just got ourselves, each other, and the loyal few who follow us. We all got dreams, but when will they come true? Sometime, baby. Sometime. Welcome to the Sometime Show.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Sometime Show, a small talk show for small channels. I am Zargram Zanders, your host, and today we have Shuppybot in the studio with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me. I've not really done talk shows before, so I'm excited to, attend.
No problem. This is the first talk show I ever hosted, so thank you for joining us. Anyway, so I'm going to open us up with the first question I ask just about every streamer we ever get in here, every guest we get in here. Who are you and where are you from?
Who am I? I am Shuppybot. I'm from, originally I was from SoCal for most of my life. So I got that beach, I love the beach, love the ocean, as if being a shark was not evident of such things. But I recently moved up to Washington, to the PNW, and I gotta say, it's very beautiful out here.
Oh, I believe it. I've always wanted to visit Washington, or Washington State, I should say. I always thought that looked like a cool area. So, okay. So, all right, next question. What got you into streaming?
So I was a long time viewer, but I also had, in my high school years, joined up with some friends who were making a club to get into Twitch esports and that kind of thing, and they were far more serious about it than I was. I was more into Twitch because I thought streaming was cool, but I didn't really know why I wanted to stream back then. But back then it was like, oh, my friends are streaming and they're playing games that I play, and so I should stream me playing those games with them, and having some sort of archive or record of those interactions was appealing to me. But I didn't really have any sort of streamer character or really any direction at the time. I didn't want to get into competitive games.
Right.
Didn't really have any games at that time that I like to play because I'm a high school student. I'm more worried about school at the time. I was wrestling sports on top of some college level courses. It was just a lot going on. So Twitch unfortunately fell by the wayside back then.
I can understand
but
that.
I always like to watch some streamers, and it definitely picked up towards COVID times when I had a lot more free time at home because college had temporarily closed. There was I was taking care of my little sister at the time.
Wait, you went to college during COVID as well? Because I was going to grad school during that time, but yeah, that was not a good time. Oh God.
No, I had gotten a 1 year free courses paid in 2019 at the end the fall semester of 2019. I had started up at my local community college,
Right.
and I was doing okay. I didn't love the courses, but I can't complain about free schooling. And then spring 2020 rolled around,
Yep.
and everything was shut down, and my college was not ready at all to switch to fully online courses.
Yep.
And so at that point, I had also just quit my job the week before everything was shut down to apply for there was a scheduled interview for a new job in the aerospace industry. I was going to be working with my family, and I was going to be helping with just more administrative work, just kind of introductory, get my foot in the door kind of thing.
Cool.
And that got canceled because of the statewide shutdown in California at the time.
Right.
And it's just from that point, it was like, well, what do I do? College is on hold. I don't have a job, but I took care of my sister because she had to stay home because everyone was staying home at the time.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I had to take care of my dad during the time too because he was immunocompromised. So I had to turn down a job as well because, people weren't. It was before the vaccine came out, so I had to basically step away from that because I didn't want to get my dad sick. So I know you have my complete sympathies with that.
Yeah, I can totally relate with the concern over immunocompromised too. I was fortunate that my father at the time had been a year out of chemotherapy by that point.
It sounds like
we were.
Yeah, it's about like what my dad was at the time. Holy crap! Okay, yeah.
I was like, it was an exciting year, and not in the most fun ways, but
no. If you're an introvert, then yeah, being cooped up all day is you can go with that. But I remember a lot of extroverted people were like absolutely hating it, and yeah, that was an odd time. So okay, so you said you were going to go into aerospace. Is that right?
Yes, not particularly because I have a fondness for aerospace. I mean, I did, when I was younger, dream of being like an aeronautical engineer.
Cool.
And turns out there's a lot of work that goes into that and a lot of responsibility that you place. It's just a lot of stress. I was like, no, I don't want to worry about stuff I design or help construct being like there being a failure and then I'm held liable. I'd rather not have people's lives in my hands. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I opted to instead go the other way. I could have people's lives in my hands, the financial route, which I'm avoiding loans at all costs, but I am in accountancy, business management, that kind of thing.
Shut up. You too? You went for accounting too? Oh my god, what the hell? Guys, I think we found my doppelganger. Holy crap. Yes, I got into accounting as well. I got my MSA in it. Oh, okay. That's awesome. Where'd you go for your degree?
I haven't actually gotten my bachelor's at all yet. I have 5 currently associate's degrees, working on my 6th.
5?
Because, yes, 5 associates.
Wow! That's actually kind of cool.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword of like I have a broad understanding of a few things related to the fields I'm in, but also come across as like undecisive or unable to make up my mind about where I ultimately want to go. The reality is I just took a lot of courses like that were electives that qualified for my general education. And then just a few extra ones that were outside that scope at the time, just because they were interesting. Like I took a couple drawing classes for fun because I like drawing.
Speaking of drawing, I absolutely love your Fujitech avatar. I wanted to say something earlier, but I wanted to save some content for the actual interview. But I think it's such an adorable little goober with a freaking lollipop. This is cute as hell.
I'm like, I adore it as well. I wish I could take full credit for it, but unfortunately my Fujitech is actually drawn by a friend of mine. I am Cat95. She's very sweet. I miss her streams. She hasn't been streaming as much lately because she's been on maternity.
I get you. But it's just this cute little, I want uppies little shark. But yeah, okay, on the subject of your art, I'd like to talk about your avatar and character design. Why don't you, what's the story there?
So my avatar is based on, I've had I don't know if Sona is the right term, but you know how everyone's got their like furry OCs or whatever in the community. Typically, if you're a member of the furry fandom, you got a little scrunkly creature that like is your online like presence. This is who my individual is. And so my Vtuber, my PNG tuber, is based on mine, who's gone through quite a few changes over the years, but like I've landed on like this appearance, and I've stuck with it for the past like 6 years.
Oh god damn it! Oh no! Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt. I forgot I left that enabled. Thank you, Emo.
Okay. Gender swapped.
Yes,
live.
it started as a gag stream where someone accidentally turned my character and someone deliberately, in a fit of rage, turned my character into a female, even though I'm cis male. I thought it was funny. My chat doesn't really go with the joke. They just do it just to mess with me. So thank you, Emma. Thank you so much. Anyway, you were saying about your avatar.
Sorry, oh, we were talking about right, my avatar. Right. Was I? I was talking about last few years. This is what we've landed on. Happy about it. My current girlfriend, who was not my girlfriend at the time, actually I commissioned her originally to make my 3D model.
Cool.
And that was kind of like how we met. A mutual friend of ours introduced each other, and she worked with me to make the model. It was really cool. And then I started streaming with a 3D model, and it was at the time. So it's funny. It's kind of funny to me. I at the time had been instructed by a friend who helped me get into streaming not to spend money on streaming before you knew it was what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I started as a PNG tuber, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
I kind of completely ignored their advice, much to possibly their chagrin. I was like, I want a 3D model. Like, even if I don't like streaming, I want to have a 3D model of my character, and using it for streaming is like a plus. That's how I viewed it. I was like, I'm gonna get it. I may be getting it because I started streaming, but really, I want a 3D model. And I have to say, I am very happy I made that decision, and it's a very cool model. I love getting outfits for it, and I'm very happy with it.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So, let's talk about the shark thing. So, so you went with a shark, or because I see your avatar here on Discord looks like a bunny. So, what's the deal going on there? We talked a little bit about this before we went live.
So, another friend of mine, Aaron Bunn, had made a. I don't know if it was like a silly little prank or something, but was like bunifying some people online. And I was one of the fortunate few who got turned into a little bunny for one of his pieces. And so I was like, well, that's really cute, and it's around that time of year, Easter. I'm gonna use it because it looks great. I think it's adorable. And then I have since not changed it to anything else because I still think it's really cute. Am I going to get a joke redeemed for turning me into a bunny eventually? That's something I'm still thinking about. I feel like it's kind of on the topic of like TF stuff. I know there are a lot of like TF streamers who are like, their whole thing is they have silly little redeems to like turn them into different like animals or whatever.
Gee, I wouldn't know anything about that, would I, Emo Perlento? But yeah, I know what you're saying with TF streams, yeah.
And so it's like I do find that like appealing in like a cute way. I'm like, I think it's adorable to just have different little critters that are you, but like, just different creatures, just for fun.
That's cool. That's cool. So, okay. Next question is, what are some challenges and or obstacles you have faced in your streaming experience?
Challenges and or obstacles. I feel like my biggest challenge I grapple with constantly is making a schedule and then ensuring I can commit the time to staying on schedule.
I felt that in my soul. I have these obnoxious problems with my own energy, and I will, like, on like Sunday, my own chat will back me up on this. I will make a plan on Sunday, post a schedule at some point, and then say, okay, I like to stream on this day and this day and this day. And then when the day actually comes, either I'll have some kind of medication issue, I'll have some kind of depression issue, I'll have some kind of anxiety issue, I'll have some kind of other thing. It's like, why can't I be normal for just on a regular basis and just stream as often as everybody else? So, oh god, committing to a schedule. I would love it if my plans worked out the way I intended them to. I know exactly what you're saying.
I'm like, it's it's just a lot. Mental health is one thing to grapple with that feels insurmountable at times.
Oh
And
God.
then there's like, school, work, having a social life. I very much have, like, from teenage years onward to when like I was working and had schooling, and I've always told people that I want to have a balance in my life where I am not like strictly focused on like one particular subject. Like I don't want to be just worried about work. I don't want to be just worried about school. I want to have time to,
You want to have
hang
a
out with my
life.
friends, do my hobbies, yeah, live my life. Like I want there to be a balance there. 'Cause
Amen.
yes,
Amen. I am right there with you, Sheppy. I am right there with you. Because
work and school are important, but you
yeah,
need
we,
to
we live in a country where
live.
we're supposed to kind of be married to our jobs. And I'm just like, okay, is that really living? Because I mean, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying. Okay, next question is what kind of goals, objectives, or projects would you like to do in the future or set in the future? Where are you trying to take your channel? What are you trying to do? What's coming up for you?
Really, I'm not super like goal oriented with the channel. I view it more like a one step at a time kind of thing. And I feel like it kind of bites me in the butt sometimes because I would like to set up like big like streams around like, oh look, we hit this like capstone or milestone, and it's like, wow, I'm doing the thing, I'm streaming, and like, I'm making friends and people are building a community, and it's just like it falls under that like I don't know how to like make these events and like make them feel like me. And so it's a lot of like lately it's been a lot of just like searching for like what would be like a good like big stream for like a milestone that feels like a Shuppy stream.
Okay,
Recently I was
can I
attempting
ask you to
to
expand upon what you mean by a Shuppy stream? So, um, what is a Shuppy stream? What does that mean to you?
to me, a Shuppy stream is like I stream these days as like a to capture kind of that first time playing a game feeling where it's like I try to play games I'm not familiar with, trying to play games that I want to complete and it's my first time playing them, and I want to capture that on stream and like share that because I think there is some sort of like joy in either watching someone who's new to a game experience it for the first time and like being there for that. I feel
Yeah.
like there's like a special feeling to it, and I think it's worth like capturing and recording. And on top of, I just like having that like those memories saved in a way. Like it's on Twitch. Sometimes I upload the VODs. Um, just personal record keeping there because it's like, yeah, that was a fun time and that was cool to experience, and I'm glad to share that with my friends and folks who show up my community and that sort of thing. And so when I'm talking about like a Shuppy stream, I mean like I want it to be like, it doesn't have to be completely new and original, but it has to be new enough to me that it's like a first time kind of ordeal. And I feel like that's hard to come by in making like these big events or like trying to come up with celebrations in a way.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Okay. So, under ideal circumstances, how would you, organize a Shuppy stream that is also one? You said like as a celebration or as a milestone type of thing. So, how would you kind of join those gears? Because it sounded like there was a bit of a difficulty there.
Honestly, I've found that doing it by myself feels very difficult. But trying to make something together where it's like an experience with my friends, where we're doing something just together, like a party game of any sort, or just, hanging out and like doing stuff together. I feel like that's special enough to warrant it being its own little celebration stream.
Aw,
And
I love it.
I think that's what I've been trying to aim for whenever I do these things. I was recently attempting to do like a 500 follower celebration where I was going to do like a karaoke stream for fun.
Cool.
I'm not super big in karaoke, but I feel like, that's kind of part of the charm to it. It's like karaoke is just about hanging out, singing songs you
Sure.
like sharing that with people.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, I canceled those plans due to a recent family loss, and I was not
Oh.
feeling up for it. And I was like, we'll do it back to what I normally do, which is play a game for the first time that I've never played before and know nothing about. And so I started playing Outer Wilds for the first time instead, and I feel like I've been enjoying that game quite a bit, and I feel like that was like a happy enough for me to celebrate 500 followers, because I know Outer Wilds is like a pretty significant game in for first time experiences. The whole joy of Outer Wilds is the first time you experience the exploration in the game.
Oh yeah, I can totally vibe with the joy of exploration, and also I am very sorry for your loss. You have my condolences. It's yeah, but I won't pry. But I do. I also kind of vibe with the enjoyment of like the pioneering feeling of playing a game you've never played before and sharing that moment with other people. I like to do that myself actually, and we've been kind of stuck playing Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I've been also realizing how similar to Kingdom Hearts it is. But yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from on that.
I hear the remake is pretty good. I have barely touched the original or the remake, but I've seen gameplay and I'm like, yeah, that's a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, it's fun. I'm enjoying the game. There are kind of moments where me being an over 30-year-old gamer kind of just grinds up against modern game design where they keep stopping you from doing stuff and like making you do all these walking cutscenes, which feel weird to me because I want to keep running. I don't want to, start running and then, we have to walk because they have to talk for a second. And then we can go back to running. That always felt weird, kind of weird to me. But anyway, okay. So what kinds of games do you like to stream? Because I started out playing games kind of like Myst and other kind of puzzle games. I can't really do first-person shooters because I sit close to my computer, so I get motion sickness.
What kind of game? That's a really good question because it kind of goes back into I just play stuff that I haven't played before.
Fair.
And while I do
fair.
kind of have a preference towards RPGs or more story-based games in general, I will play like puzzle games sometimes. I do want to play more puzzle games. I'm a sucker for the more how do I describe it? I feel like one of the games that I recently played that feels really out of character for what I enjoy, but I thought was fantastic and wish I could play more of is Soma, which is the horror puzzle story game, and it's made by the same folks who made the what are they called? It's that really popular horror series from 10 years ago or so.
Here, let me get a graphic up because I don't think I've
Amnesia?
played this game. Soma game.
It's made by the same folks who made Amnesia, The Dark Descent, and those games.
I was streaming that earlier this year, or no, earlier last year for Halloween. I don't know why, but for some reason, I never really played a horror game before. That was actually my first horror game. And I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know how other people really get into stuff. I guess it just wasn't for me. For me, it just felt like, okay. But I can definitely appreciate and respect that a lot of people enjoy horror games. So I believe it when people say that all these games tend to be awesome, and I believe that this game was probably really good if it was made by the people who made the Amnesia series. So okay, how did you like it?
I think Soma surprised me a little because I went into it not super I'm not a horror fan. I jump easy. Jump scares are my arch nemesis. I despise them greatly. Loud noises disorient me. It's a lot of things make me jumpy very easy in horror games, and they definitely know how to milk it. So it's I went into the game not super hyped. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a horror game. I'm gonna be super uncomfortable. Am I even gonna be able to finish this game? And for a moment, I didn't think I would be able to, because I had started playing it and I got to a section where it was really intent on just utilizing like loud noises,
Jump scares,
and like not even like a jump scare. It was literally just like a faulty sound system in the game for a certain part that was like on edge. Nothing was actually going on. But that just shows like how in my own head I was getting playing the game. That like loud screechy sounds suddenly happening was enough to be like, okay, I think I need to take a break from the game.
For me, when I was playing
like,
Amnesia, it was kind of like I just wasn't able to enjoy it. I wasn't able to enjoy myself like I thought I would. And my reactions weren't funny, so I felt like, my content was just kind of and I'm like, you know what, maybe this just isn't for me. But I guess it seems like you had a kind of a different experience where it was kind of overwhelming in a way.
it certainly was at times, but once I was able to like move past that, the story was amazing. I really enjoyed the story elements of the game, and it really put forward some like, kind of thought-provoking like philosophy at times, which was really interesting to like get that from a horror game. Because I definitely don't go into a horror game thinking, oh, it's going to present some ideas. They're going to make me, think on things a little bit and like wonder like what kind of angle I stand on for some things.
Right.
And I don't want to like spoil stuff because Soma is a very good game to go into without knowing what they're like presenting. And it does get like revealed like halfway through the game what's going on, but it's also just better to go in blind.
I get you. I can definitely get down with games that have like interesting philosophical points to make, as long as they don't do it in a really sloppy way. Like if it's clearly just a thing they tacked on to the story just to seem like they're trying to be deep, but they don't actually do any of the writing investment to try and make it feel like it's naturally a part of the story, then I can get kind of annoyed, because then it feels like it's just like, a gimmick or like hand waving instead of actually trying to take the own thing that you claim to care about seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely think that some games can present ideas like that in like a ham-fisted way that or in ways that are kind of like looking down on the player.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
This is not always the most pleasant experience.
There's a
I will
cliche.
say Soma.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I will say Soma does it in a way that's more subtle, and then like ramps up to being like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that's good to hear that they actually, there's like legit effort to try and actually have the philosophy of it actually, have some kind of weight behind it. Because one of the cliches in kind of like the meme verse online with games is where they just say, and then I realized war is bad. It's like, oh, gee, buddy, did you have to think for 2 seconds about that? I mean, it's... Or sometimes they just they act like the simplest conclusions are the most profound of things. It's like, oh, really?
I sure love that grade schooler level conceptual thinking there. Like, oh, yeah. Who could have thunk?
Oh my God, stealing from people is bad? What? Like... It's like yeah, yep. I'm glad you worked that one out.
To say, I think like the worst example of it is when like it's presented as some sort of game mechanic that it's like, oh, you should do this to like survive, and then later on the line it's like, I can't believe you did that to survive.
Oh,
so,
that is
like,
so annoying. Oh, that is so annoying,
really?
where they bait you into doing something and then shame you for doing it. Oh. Emo, you do have a good point, Emo. In chat, they're saying, we all did profound conclusions for the first time once. I mean, that is true. And it is very true that someone could be playing this game and never have thought about this kind of thing before. You're right, maybe I'm being a bit too judgy. But I guess it just feels like when you're playing some of these stories, and then they say really, really, really simple things, and like it's the deepest thing ever, it's like, okay. It feels like that SpongeBob roller coaster meme, where... Patrick and SpongeBob are in a roller coaster with a little kid, and they're going over like the littlest hill. That's kind of how it feels to me sometimes. But I can appreciate that sensation is obviously relative, of course. You know what I mean? So, okay. So getting back to you, Shuppy. Is that okay if I call you Shuppy?
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually,
Yeah, I go by
wait.
Shuppy.
Let's talk about your name for a second here. Shuppy Bot. What's going on there?
So there was a lot that led up to Shuppybot as a name. Funny enough, I used to go by a different name when I started streaming, and then I've changed it like 3 times, and this is where we ended up. So we're gonna start from the get-go here. I used to go by DoNoBot, as in like DOE, no bot.
Oh.
And that was related to like a childhood thing with my dad, where that has some like just origins there that, it was like a silly childhood nickname.
Okay.
And then so I was like, I'll just stream like that, and I like robots, but didn't really have any connection to like what I stream. And then I switched it just to Dono because I thought it was like just a cuter name, and I liked it as a nickname.
I think I see where this might be going.
But then, because I'm a shark, one of my friends' streams, who I'd been like a viewer of for a while, one of their like mods was like working with them because I don't know what had happened or led up to it. I forgot what led to it, but they were like, we need to come up with like a nickname that is like to mess with you, like as like a joke. And they were like, we need to come up with something. And one of the mods came up with Shuppy because I'm a shark, but baby sharks are called pups. And so they're like, oh, you're like a puppy, but you're a shark, so like you're a Shuppy.
That's adorable.
And it was like, I was like, okay, I mean, that's really cute. So like, I'm not gonna be offended about this because it's a really cute nickname. And then everybody just started calling me Shuppy because it is a cute nickname. And I brought back the bot because I started leaning more into like the shark robot aspect of things. And so now I'm Shuppybot. I would just go by Shuppy because I think just Shuppy is completely fine, and the underscore bot part is a little unnecessary. But unfortunately, there is an inactive user on Twitch with the name Shuppy, and I will forever be sad about it until I get partners someday and take that name for myself.
Yeah, I feel you. Though I gotta say, the whole idea of a shark. First off, I think there's a website called Shark Robot. Second of all, I have to make a Dr. Evil reference from Austin Powers because they had like, are those sharks with laser beams attached to their heads? I had to do that. I love reference humor, but yeah, I love the vibe you got though. I love the idea of like a shark robot. So you said you're into robotics. Did you ever do any kinds of like STEM extracurriculars or whatever around that?
When I was younger, and I guess younger includes high school. In like middle school and high school, I was on a robotics team. I didn't contribute a lot. I dabbled a little bit in the programming side and like the metal shop side, but I never really got super involved due to just how busy being a child is, it turns out.
Right.
It's like, it turns out you can't really control your own schedule as a child, and if your parents don't have time for things, you don't have time for things.
In many ways, that can be very, very true.
So I do love robotics, and I love games that like give you an option to like mess around in that field. Like there's a game called Space Station 13, where that's like a
Shut up! You play Space Station 13 as well?
I used to play it a lot. I used to play it a little too much, like hours and hours on end.
Oh my god, what server did you play on?
I don't even remember where I was at this point. It's been years since I touched the game. I know I bounced around a few just because there were like different things you could do. Like I would do robotics on some of them, but then I would also do lava land mining on the ones where they had like a really expanded upon lava land with like mini bosses and stuff.
Oh yeah, the server I play in has that.
I was like, I love Space Station 13. I hope Space Station 14 gets caught up eventually because it's so much smoother.
Yeah, I know that feeling. With my more private persona, or online persona, I tend to play on an RP server called, I think it's Nova Sector. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, we got a chat here saying, Are you familiar with the game Barrel Trauma? It was made in the spirit of FS13, some say. Actually, Emmo, it's more than that. You see, there used to be a station called Europa Station. And the developers of that, or the people who ran that, eventually went on to make Barrel Trauma. That's what I've heard. It may not be true, but I remember that's the scuttlebutt about how Barrel Trauma came to be. And that's why it has the honk mother, and that's why it has the clown and everything. Because it's a reference to that.
Am I familiar with Barotrauma is a very funny question, because that is another game that I have spent many hours on with many a crew and got up to quite the shenanigans. I love modded Barotrauma, but currently vanilla Barotrauma is like come such a long way from when it was first coming out. It's improved so much, and while I do think the medical system is a little sad, I love the neurotrauma mod that adds like the super in-depth medical system. A little too in-depth for some might say, but I do love that game dearly. And
to be fair, vanilla medical in Bear Trauma is, oh, they stubbed their toe, give them some morphine. And so I think it can only get deeper from there, because otherwise you're just throwing opiates at people all day.
Yeah, it is hilarious. That's like, oh, here's a bandage and morphine, and you're set, you're good.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious.
Is like the opposite end of the spectrum, where it's like, oh yeah, you don't have your surgical tools all available to like, oh, open up their wound, and then like, with a scalpel, and then use clamps to hold it open, and then check for foreign objects, and then properly remove any bullets that might be in there,
right?
Suture it back up, and then maybe give them some medication. It's just, it feels like it's so much more of a hassle, but also more, I don't know, I feel like Barotrauma having some more accurate medical circumstances is better for the game. It definitely feels more gritty, and having like a grittier medical system definitely feels more into what they do.
Yeah, I hear you. Because Space Station 13, as serious as the setting is actually a very, very silly game. I don't have to tell you that, but yeah, it's because there's a bit of a tonal juxtaposition, because Space Station 13 there's just so much wacky, goofy shit going on in Space Station 13 compared to Barotrauma, which is all like, we're all these, rough, gruff people in submarines on Europa. The world is ending. And Space Station 13 is, I blew kisses at the sleeper matter and it blew up.
Yeah, I was chatting with the AI about ordering some Dominoes to the space station, It's completely normal stuff on a very serious space station quality out here.
Or the AI was busy stripping somebody, so it wasn't able to open a door for you because it was too busy pretending to be a bunny girl or something. It's like... Okay.
Yeah. Oh, what was that? The xenobiologists for messing around in their labs and just happened to create like a alien horror that's gonna screw over the station? Oh, great. Another day on the space station.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Yep.
normal.
The clown just turned half the space station into plasma and then set it on fire. Just... Oh, my God. Yeah, it's... I was
gonna say, I sure love when people work in Atmos and make a max cap bomb just for fun.
Oh,
Great
God.
time.
Atmos is probably the single most dangerous job in the game. Not to yourself, but to everyone around you, because there's a saying on the server I go to where there's nothing more dangerous than a bored engineer.
That's so true.
Because then they start to mess with the station.
If you're good at engineering, you are one to be feared.
I'm okay at engineering. I don't know Atmos and I don't know networking very well, but I can I can definitely do mechanic stuff. Though I tend to actually, these days I mostly play captain. Actually, because I kind of have a paternal instinct, so I kind of get kind of protective of people and I like helping them out. But some people get very, very, what's the word? Kind of prickly if you walk into their department even though you're an officer and just need to grab something real quick, or if you just need to talk to them. Some people get very, they get kind of officious, I think. Whereas for me, I always play on low pop, so it's always kind of like a small town to me, where you just drop by wherever and do whatever you need to do. But I guess there's different approaches people take.
I was like, I definitely need to get back into some medium RP servers. I've been hearing some good things about Space Station 14, and I was like, I should give them a try.
Yeah, I've heard some things about Space Station 14. I think the guy, Livra, who does a lot of like shenanigans on their YouTube videos, like they once made a bunch of what is the substance that turns everything around it into a certain substance? Met steel? No, no, I don't remember what it is. Point is, they were able to turn half the station into plasma and then set it on fire. Their main character is called Boris, and yeah, they do all kinds of wacky stuff. Or like they play the Haas or the head of security. One shit, and every time they beat someone with their truncheon, they say law. So then when they're beating someone over, they go law, 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 law. It's just like it's so weird, but they do all kinds of wacky shenanigans.
That sounds like the essence of the game, just wacky shenanigans. Nothing like robusting someone over the head with a toolbox.
To be fair, that would hurt pretty bad. Or, you know, the noob trap of hitting yourself with a toolbox.
I think the real noob trap is discovering that you can hack doors and then not wearing rubber gloves.
Yep, there it is. Yep. Yeah, though if you're an engineer and you have an RCD, you can just disintegrate the door.
That's also true.
Yeah. Sorry, we're probably making a bunch of references that no one else is really sure about, but okay, well, let's get back to talking about you and Storybank. So, we were setting officers to watch over random griefers to prevent them from doing damage. Oh, you guys got, like, OG Grey-Tided? Because OG Grey-Tided was, like, when people would just sign up as assistant, trying out Space Station 13, and then just mess up the whole station, much to the chagrin of people who actually know the game. Sorry to hear that, Emma, but yeah. Let's get back to talking about you a bit. So, okay. Let me see here. I hear you like to cook. So why don't you talk to us about that? What kind of food do you like to make?
So, cooking is one of those things where it's like, I want to get better at it. I don't have any signature dishes or anything quite yet. I think one of my more familiar dishes that I really need to still work on is my hummus. I make kind of like just a hummus and some... there's a whole spread my family used to make that I've been trying to learn how to make myself, where we make hummus, we have a side dish with lebna and olive oil, obviously it's served with flatbread. Lebna is just like a thicker yogurt.
Oh.
And so I like to have like a side of like just sliced cucumbers, and like bell peppers, and then there's like this salty goat cheese that we also usually get and put on the side.
That can really go nicely with the wine.
There's typically, I don't think we ever have any actually like specific drinks we have with it. I just know that it's like currently roasting chickpeas as we speak. Hummus slaps. I agree, Cottage Frogs. You're real for that.
Hey, Cottage. Good to see you again. Let me give you a shout out. We had them on the show previously. Yeah, I kind of like hummus. I prefer it with like pita chips because oh god, I love pita chips, and I think I like to get some protein in with hummus and pita chips. So yeah, I can totally get where you're coming from there. I've never made it though. We always just buy it at the store.
Didn't have a food processor for a long time, but my girlfriend recently had surgery, so she couldn't eat like solid food, and I was like, it's my time.
Oh,
I can get a food processor.
You set yourself up for such a mean joke. Oh god. You just said I didn't have a food processor for a long time. Then I got a girlfriend. I'm like, oh buddy, what have you said? I'm like oh man,
then I got a girlfriend.
Oh
no,
God!
No,
that I just saw that. Oh, but okay. I hope your girlfriend is doing fine though.
Oh yeah, she's fully recovered by this point. I mean, she's definitely able to eat normally now. But before, I had to well, I got the food processor. It's like a blender and a food processor. I mean, very similar, but I guess food processors are just stronger blenders. Something that I had not really considered before, but makes complete sense when you think about it.
For
I was
sure.
like, oh, it's literally just